Chaos Demons seem to be in the top performing factions at the moment in 10th, and one of the only factions above 50% win rate and 6th overall. So why are Demons doing so well, and what are the units and combos they're bringing that are so effective? A few things of note. Areas of the battlefield can be considered in Shadow of Chaos. While your army is in these zones, they get +1 to battle shock tests, and heal wounds or return models for successful tests, and opponents get -1 to battle shock, and suffer D3 mortal wounds when failing. Your deployment zone is always in the Shadow, and any area where you hold half or more objectives is also considered in the Shadow. Deep striking into a Shadow area can be done within 6 inches of an opponent, and you can deep strike 3 inches away with a 1 CP strat but then can't charge. During the game you can pick up 1 or 2 units and then re-deep strike them for 1 CP, essentially giving you lots of unexpected movements. There's only 1 enhancement per Chaos God, and they only affect the bearer, but the abilities get better if you're in the Shadow of Chaos. Advance and Charge is a 1 CP strat, only the Mask of Celesh has it as an innate ability. There are lots of rerolls or pluses to charging, which is great for a melee faction. There's no limits to bringing the biggest demons, and they're all great, so this makes me very happy. Each has Deep Strike, T10 or better, 4+ invuns, and 12-inch move or better, except that is the slower Nurgle ones. Souping all the Chaos Gods seems like the best way to run demons at the moment. Let's talk about the Be'lakor in the room, the auto pick for most armies. He is great and always has been great, but now at 325 points he's cheaper than ever. He's got the big demon profile, which is great, and he's naturally -1 to hit. As you'd expect, he's really good in melee, but perhaps not the best in the faction. His abilities are why you bring him. You can pick 1 or 3 buffs per turn, and the best is having a 6-inch aura of not being able to be targeted from over 18 inches away. Stick a bunch of big demons next to him and keep them safe early on. Also, he projects a 6-inch aura of the Shadow of Chaos, so units that deep strike next to him can come in 6 inches away from your opponent units. Now the Lord of Change, probably the best greater demon at 230 points. 12-inch move, T10, 4+ invuln. He's got strength 10, 18-inch range fire that can choose to either ignore cover, have lethal hits, or sustained hits D3. Pretty good melee with 8 attacks and 3 damage each. Give him a 25-point enhancement to get him an additional 2 strength and 6-inch range to his guns. So at 24 inches, that's strength 12 attacks, some of the best shooting in the index. Definitely one to have in the army, sit it next to Be'lakor to keep it safe, and keep it within the Shadow of Chaos. Now for the biggest melee threat, the Bloodthirster, and a good price at 300 points. The usual great stat line, but actually this model's T11. +1 to hit, so that's keeping its attacks always on 2s. Deals mortal wounds at the end of combat, so that can help finish off a target. And the Great Axe seems best, 7 attack, strength 16, -4 AP and D6 +2 damage. Take a cheeky 20-point enhancement for +1 attack and strength. If you fight in the Shadow, then that goes up to +2. It also makes a 15 attack, strength 11 sweep attack really tasty. Shalaxi Hellbane, absolutely fantastic but expensive at 400 points. But moves 14 inches with 20 wounds, still got the 4+ invuln and a 5+ feel no pain. It's going to be difficult to put this one down. Some decent firepower, but it's the melee which is the killer against monsters, vehicles and characters, so that's units with leaders as well. She rerolls charges, then rerolls hits, rerolls wounds and rerolls damage. Hitting on 2s with 6, strength 14, D6 +2 damage attacks. These are precision, so it can be piled into a character that you're trying to keep safe. Then an extra 4 attacks at 3 damage. Then if the unit survives, the -1 attacks to hit back. You can't take an enhancement on this one, but it doesn't really need it. So I've got 1300 points of greater demons and enhancements. Now about some board control and scoring. Nurglings, 40 points for 3. Really cheap with infiltration, but no objective control. They are a perfect cheap unit for secondary missions or just move blocking your opponents. 4 wounds is good, but only a 6+ invuln. It'll be annoying for your opponent, but they won't be too difficult to kill. It's good to have lone operatives. And there are 3 in the index, the cheapest being Blue Scribes at 65 points. It does nothing really except just hold your home objective. The Beasts of Nurgle, T9, 5+ invuln, 7 wounds. At the end of any phase, they heal all their lost wounds back. Take them in a single unit for 75 points. It's going to require your opponent to overkill them, which is damage that's not going elsewhere. They have Deep Strike, and being single model units, they can be hidden for point scoring. If you really want to double down on the Beasts of Nurgle unit, give them a leader, Hortuculus Slimux, and the Nurgle enhancement for 30 points. That's an extra 150 points, so with one beast it's 225. But instead take any attacks on that unit to the leader, he's toughness 10, with 10 wounds, a 3+ save so cover helps, a 4+ invuln, and with the enhancements of 5+ feel no pain. As long as the unit's in area terrain, then his special ability is to make it in the Shadow of Chaos. And that's until the end of the game. His feel no pain will then go to 4+, and of course things can deep strike into that terrain 6 inches away from your enemy. A load of points there, but a great combo. But of course every faction needs to consider some shooting. The Soul Grinder, 215 points, it seems expensive, but it's T11, 3+ save, 4+ invuln, so it's durable. It has melee if you want it to be moving forward with its D6 damage attacks. Then you need to pick a Chaos God Allegiance to have a particular weapon, My pick is Nurgle, and then you have indirect fire. Or perhaps Zeech for the anti-tank strength 12 gun. 155 points left if you're keeping a running tally. Bring a Chaos Knight War Dog. Pick a variety you prefer, but considering all the melee in your army, I'd go for a ranged one. The Executioner for those 48-inch 3 damage autocannon attacks. Or the Brigand hitting on 2s, but has to come forward to get within 24 inches. For the 12-shot autocannon and Melter. If you want to save some points, then consider taking a Skull Cannon instead of the Soul Grinder for 100 points less. Still Toughness 9, 4 plus Invuln, and D6 plus 2 48-inch 2 damage shots. Hitting a unit forces them to take a Battle Shock test. Then you have some points for something else cool or will help you do some scoring. Perhaps Blue Horrors, Fleshhounds, Screamers, Flamers, or Seekers. 95 points for 5, and they'll give you a turn 1 charge if you really want it. 9-inch Scout move, 14-inch normal move, then a rerollable advance. 1 CP advance and charge, and they get +1 to the charge, and it's rerollable. That's a way to blocking your opponent, give them something to worry about, while your big demons are running across the board for the turn afterwards. So it seems like running greater demons in a big soup, rather than considering units with combos, is probably the way to go. Let me know how you want to play them. I'll see you again soon. Bye.